Here are the tools that we'll be using for my projects. I like to contain the glass on these white trays because you can see the colours more clearly, and also if you remember to cut over it, it does help contain the chips. We have wheeled mosaic nippers, running pliers for breaking the glass after we've scored it. This one is an oil-filled glass cutter, but it doesn't have to be oil-filled, it's a personal preference. I've got a Sharpie pen, a pair of tweezers, a sharpened bamboo skewer, one end's a point, one end is a wedge. That, unfortunately, is a dental pick, rather creepy, but works well. Single-sided razor blade, which we use as a scraper for getting glue off. There's a straight edge here for cutting thin strips. 3 sizes of paintbrushes for spreading the glue in different areas, and the ever-faithful masking tape. And this I use for when I've cut a flower that I want to keep together but don't want to use directly. I'll put the masking tape on to hold it together until I need it. For my work, I use silicone sealant. It's flexible and waterproof and transparent, so it's perfect for what I'm doing. It's available in nearly every DIY or building supply store, so it's very easy to get hold of, and then you'll need the glue gun to go with it. For cutting narrow strips, you want to do more than one at a time, and I wouldn't necessarily go thinner than that. And you would keep scoring down here. If you try to break out one at a time, it'll chip away, or let's say it'll usually chip away like that. But if you do them in even numbers, so 2, 4, 6, 8, you've got more leverage either side, and that helps get the piece cut right through. Okay, let's put that into practice. For this one, if I want straight pieces, I would actually make use of the straight edge. This lip hooks on the side at the top there, and then it gives you a guide down the side. So just score your piece of glass, and as I say, do more than one at a time. Usually I do a few of these and put them in a box, ready for the next time I need them for a different project. Okay, I've done 4 there. Of course, they're impossible to see. And I take my running pliers, and I'm going to put the pliers at the last score and snap. That gives me 4 pieces now. So if I put it into the second one, I've got equal leverage either side. Split that, and then the same again. Split that. Okay, so you have nice thin skinny pieces. We'll do that one as well while we're at it. Okay. I'm going to cut some curved leaves for bluebells and daffodils. So I'm going to come down from this corner and come in a curve about halfway. To begin with, I'm going to do 1 score. And then break it out. Now that I've got this line to follow, because the score lines are so difficult to see, it will just give me a guide. So I want to bring this down in a crescent, widening it at the base here each time. So from the centre there at the top, bring it down. I've got my finger roughly where I ended up, so just keep going. And you're working blind a little bit here. You can more or less see them, but they're very faint. Okay, now break out and let's see what we've got. As you see, they're not perfect at the top. That one's okay. That one's fine. But these could do with a little bit of chomping at the top. So just take the mosaic nippers and take the point up a little bit. Same with this one. Just cut it up at the top a little bit just to bring that point up. And with this one. There we go. And people often worry that these edges at the top here will stand out, but once they're in amongst the rest of the mosaic, they don't. I'm going to attempt to cut some long thin strips, which I'll use as stalks. Again, it's hard to see the score line, so you just got to go blind a little bit. Let's see what we've got when we break them out. When they're thin like this, you may have to go to the other end with the running pliers to help break them out. There we go. So we've got a couple of stalks as well. If you're having trouble cutting the really long, thin stalks, don't worry about it. Just cut some very thin strips off the side. They can be straight. Cut a few of them. And then obviously break them out again as I've done before in twos. And then you can cut these down. I'm in trouble with this last one, just keep going until you get it. There we go. Using your wheeled mosaic nippers, you can just cut these into sections, and then when you lay them down into the glue, you can lay them down in a curve, which will give you your stalk. So this is where tweezers come in handy. Okay, so don't let it get you down if you're struggling with the cutting. It's just practice.